Welcome all members of the public and those watching online to the October monthly Board of Adjustment meeting for Buncombe County. We'll call to order and we'll start with Joel on introductions.
Joel Mazelis.
Paul Wilczynski.
Greg Allen.
Andy Ball
Catherine Warsani.
Greg Phillips.
Wesley Green.
and staff.
Dana Alley.
Jason Payne.
Amy Broughton.
Griffin Kearns.
Thank you so much. Does staff have any announcements today for us?
Case ZPH 2025-00031, Biltmore Market Gardeners Cottage Flood Variance number 2 on the agenda. They have requested to be moved to the November agenda. They are still getting their application packet together, and they've been working closely with all of the floodplain development staff.
Thank you. And for the rest of the cases, do we have standing applications currently?
There was a standing application submitted in the ZPH 2025-00032 Villa Variance.
Okay. Because that one may take a longer period of time, it might be the best interest for us to move that one to the final case on the agenda today, if that's okay with staff and with applicants and the board. Is that agreeable? Thoughts?
Yeah. Do we
So-
need to make a motion or anything, or?
We'll do that to reorder the agenda as follows. So the 00019 would be the first case, second case 00029, third case 00032. Is there a motion on that?
I make a motion to adjust it as you stated.
There's a motion as second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. That passes. We have meeting minutes from September to review, I believe, by email. Any thoughts on those? I know we had an edit go back and forth, so.
Motion to approve minutes.
There is a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Thank you. Aye, yes. That passes. Moving to disclosure of ex parte communications or conflicts of interest. To clarify, any member of any board exercising quasi-judicial functions pursuant to North Carolina general statutes shall not participate in or vote on any quasi-judicial matter in a manner that would violate any person's constitutional rights to an impartial decision-maker. Impermissible violations of due process include, but are not limited to, a member having a fixed opinion prior to the hearing that is not susceptible to change, an undisclosed ex parte communication, a close familial, business relationship, or other associational relationship with an affected person, or a financial interest in the outcome of the matter. So if that applies to any member on any case today, please so state.
No.
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 Thank you so much for that. Moving to our public hearing section of the agenda. Before we start, this hearing is a quasi-judicial evidentiary hearing. That means it's similar to a court hearing. State and local law set specific procedures and rules concerning how this board must make its decisions. The board's discretion is limited. We must base our decision upon the competent, relevant, and substantial evidence in the record. Our decisions must be constrained by the standards in the zoning ordinance and based on the facts presented. If you'll be speaking as a witness today, please focus on the facts and the standards, not personal opinion or preference. Including matters of personal knowledge and specific facts, but not including opinion and speculation on traffic, impact on the community, crime, etc. We do value a transparent process and encourage the community to remain engaged and participate, but given this is a hearing on the record, there are certain topics and areas that limit the type of testimony we can receive from members of the public without standing. Expert testimony would be defined as opinion testimony from expert witnesses. These topics include projections about impacts on property values and projections about impacts of increased traffic stemming from the proposed project. Individuals providing expert opinion testimony must be qualified as experts and provide the factual evidence upon which they will base their expert opinion. As a reminder, witnesses should provide factual testimony as to how the project does or does not meet the standards. The board must base its decision upon evidence in the record and not personal preference or opinion. Another reminder that we'll ask the audience and members of the board, staff, everybody to silence their devices during the meeting. Thank you so much. We'll move to ZPH 2025-00019, the new Leicester Grocery Special Use Permit. Do we have any, we don't have any standing applications submitted to staff already. Are there any standing applications from members of the public today? Okay, thank you so much. We have Thana Alley from staff to present.
Please raise your right hand and state your name.
Dana Alley,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Thank you.
I certify that this public hearing was properly noticed and all applicable parties were notified of the meeting in accordance with general statutes and county code. I ask that all applicant and staff materials be accepted into the record as evidence.
Seeing no objections, so admitted.
This is the review of ZPH 2025-00019, New Leicester Grocery. Applicant is Warren Sugg of Civil Design Concepts. Property is located at 14 Hitching Post Road and the total acreage is 84.78. Development is serviced by public water and sewer. Property is zoned CS, commercial service. Project proposes a 50,325 square foot grocery with strip retail totaling 7,080 square feet. No deviations are requested through the PUD process. If approved by the board, staff recommends the following conditions of approval, which I will summarize. 14 Hitching Post Lane must be subdivided before the master site plan review permit is submitted. Floodplain development permit, no rise, and permission from NCDEQ for the stream reroute and culvert replacement must be obtained and submitted as part of the site plan review. Project must be constructed as depicted in site plan.
Are there board questions for staff? Seeing none at this time, thank you so much. We'll ask the applicant or the representative to approach.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. You know me, I'm Craig Justice. I'm here on behalf of the applicant in this matter. We originally had 3 people to speak, but one person is stuck in trial in Silva. So we have 2 people to speak. The first person would be Warren.
Please raise your right hand and state your name. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
All right, Warren, go ahead and identify yourself, and in doing so, talk about your professional experiences.
Warren Sugg, Civil Design Concepts. We're a local civil engineering firm. I've been doing civil engineering, specifically site development engineering, for nearly 25 years now. I got my education from North Carolina State University and got my PE license in North Carolina and South Carolina. I've been doing site development for that entirety of my career in the Raleigh market and then this market for the last 11 years here and 16 in Raleigh. Been before this board and City of Asheville boards and other local municipalities for meetings just like this.
And you have been accepted as an expert before this board before?
I have.
All right, and have you prepared a written statement that outlines your experiences and discusses some of your analysis relating to this project?
I have, and that was submitted to Mr. Griffin Kearns yesterday.
And is this a copy of that, what I marked as Exhibit 1?
It is. That's my affidavit as the first page, signed by me, notarized on the back page. Exhibit 1 is my my resume in color, and then Exhibit 2 is a summary of the site and site plans.
All right, Mr. Chairman, you should have this, was uploaded, I think, on the website. I'd like to tender this witness as an expert in civil engineering.
Hearing no questions or objections, so tendered.
And also, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit Exhibit 1. And actually, just so we don't, Ms. Morisani asked me to, let's label this Exhibit A, if you don't mind, because there are Exhibits 1 and 2 attached. So if we can label this as Exhibit A, and I'd like to submit it as part of the record.
So admitted.
All right, Warren, if you'll go ahead and describe the project.
Happy to. So the project that is in question today, as mentioned by staff, is accessed off of New Leicester Highway, NC 63. Roberts Road is to the west. To the south, and the address is Hitching Post. It actually goes off of Roberts Road as well. We are coming before you for a site that's about 10 acres. There's a larger parcel there of a larger amount of acres, but there's roughly 10 that's in question. Today, as it sits, it's a fairly flat pad that's been that way for a number of decades now. And there's not a lot of grade change that happens on it currently, not a lot of grade change that'll happen to it in the future as well. There are quite a few old storm drains and other routing systems that are there that will be taken out and replaced with better stormwater conditions. And I'll get into that just a little bit more in a moment. But the site plan itself, C201, if you guys have your plan sheets, shows the site plan as a whole. The major building being Building 1, that's the grocery. As mentioned, that's 50,325 plus or minus square feet, and that elevation is around 2250. Building 2, just to the east of it, that's the commercial building. Those would be some additional retail spaces. Commercial building that's right around 7,000 square feet, and it sits about 2 feet lower than the grocery building. The majority of the parking for this development is to the north, so it's bound between New Leicester Highway and the buildings. We do have some improvements you can see on the west along Roberts Road, as well as the Hitching Post Lane. Those are our connection points to our site, but also just improvements in that area as a whole. While we're talking about Roberts and New Leicester, there is a new signalized intersection that's being proposed and discussed with DOT at that spot. And then our other access point is just a little further east on New Leicester, and that would be a right in, right out from our site, and some improvements in the middle double left turn lane area. A few other points I want to make is you do see some stormwater control measures. Those are in blue. Those are both on the east side of the project. One larger one that's up near New Leicester, and that's in sort of the natural drainage path where stormwater is wanting to go anyways. And then we also have a smaller one, I'll call it sort of to the rear of Building 2, and that helps with some of the back of house impervious areas. You see the main access for delivery and more back of house that's coming off of Roberts and then off of Hitching Post to the rear, which is the south of Building 1 and Building 2. And then, as mentioned, those parking spaces are more to the north of the building as a whole. C202 is a plan that starts to show some of those preliminary plat things that we were discussing earlier, some right-of-way that would be granted to NCDOT at Roberts Road, as well as some right-of-way and private rights that are shown along Hitching Post, as well as along the east side of the site. As you go to 301, you get into a little bit more of the grading and erosion control and storm plans. I can dive deeper into those, but the blue, if you have a colored map, is the new pipes. That would be the bypass pipes for off-site drainage that's coming through our property, whereas the black pipes are new ones that would be installed and would be treated on site, going into those two stormwater control measures that we talked about. Water and sewer. So water is City of Asheville water. We have water that's out along the south side of New Leicester, and we would be making a connection to that and bringing new water lines in along Roberts and Hitching Post. And then our connection to the site itself would actually come off of that new water line near the intersection of Hitching Post and Roberts Road with a backflow preventer and meter, as well as some internal hydrants and services to each of those buildings. Sewer, we're blessed that we've got sewer along not only New Leicester Highway, but also have some sewer that's going to be routed along Hitching Post and ties into some sewer that's already there as well. So we've got sewer coming in a couple different ways, and we are doing some reroutes inside of our site to serve both of those properties. Water and sewer are also brought up to the end of Hitching Post, so if there is any future development that was to happen in the future, those will be able to be extended. The last thing I want to bring up, and we have other experts that will go more into it, but we did have not only streams and wetlands delineated and confirmed with Army Corps of Engineers and DEQ, but we also had a traffic impact study that was done through the DOT process, and we have that final decision letter that's in hand and part of the record as well. Any questions of the project?
So Warren, with this project, the applicant is not asking for any variances, and that, in terms of development standards, we'd be following the development standards put forth by Buncombe County.
That's correct. It's
Yeah.
strictly just the use in the building that's got us here today.
Are there sidewalks and access to public transportation with this site?
So sidewalks, there are sidewalks that are internal, and as you would expect in any kind of residential connectivity. There's no sidewalks along New Leicester that's proposed or existing right now. And was there another part to that question?
So there's no public transportation access on New Leicester?
I would have to rely on staff to tell me more about where the public transit is right now. I know there is a connection. I was actually here just a few months ago, and there's a public transit that goes up New Old County Home Road. I know there's one there. I don't know if it loops along on New Leicester, but maybe.
too with the ART system that's operated by the city of Asheville. Mountain Mobility is in the area, and the county, until we update our standards, we don't yet have a sidewalk standard. We do anticipate that to take place in the future. But in terms of like the sidewalks along New Leicester Highway, it pretty much end at the city. They did extend slightly out with an agreement with the county a few years ago, but that's the extent of what we have in the area.
Okay, thank you.
What is the nearest sidewalk to the property along New Leicester?
If you'll
We
allow
know.
me to go to Google on my phone, I can help us find out.
Hang on, Warren.
Or
I've
if
got
staff might
GIS.
have a-
I'll
Yeah,
get
I
that
think
for you.
the city limit line is at least a mile, or about a mile.
Probably a couple, yeah.
If you want to keep going, I will just report back here in a
Yeah,
second when I
let's do
pull
that.
that up.
Yeah. So Warren, in terms of the affidavit that we've already submitted, you have in your affidavit your opinions and conclusions about compliance with the development standards of the county based on your experiences as a civil engineer and your experiences in reviewing this project. And according to affidavit, you have opined that this project meets the special use permit standards in the county zoning ordinance. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Those are the questions I have.
Could we go into just a little bit more detail about what's involved in burying the creek on the parking lot? What the engineering involved in burying the creek?
So the creek is, I wouldn't say it's there today. It hasn't necessarily been there for a number of decades. What the realities of what's going to happen in the field is excavation of the material that's there, excavation of some amount of pipes and other structures that were used for conveying that stormwater. All that bad material will be brought out. Brand new, up to standard materials would be put in boxes, pipes, conveyances, and then that'll be backfilled with suitable dirt material. So I would say there's bad fill material and bad conveyance material there today, and it will be remedied to a much better situation.
The sidewalk, the closest sidewalk, it actually got extended to right about 403 New Leicester Highway. That's in the vicinity of the self-storage facility and the auto parts store, if you are familiar with that area. I would like to add in too on the piped stream from years and years and years ago. I have knowledge that that's actually a series of old water heaters that were welded together. This situation, this redevelopment will actually improve the situation that involves that, because there is floodplain on the property that is actually impacted by the fact that they did that years ago.
That sidewalk, in the previous question, the sidewalk ended where the storage facility is, and that's where the Papa's Pizza approximately is.
Yes.
Okay. Board questions for Warren?
They're Old County Home Road, essentially.
Where the intersection at the gas station? All right,
Thank you.
let's move forward.
All right, Monisha?
All right. All right, please raise your right hand and state your name.
I'm Monisha Badrinath.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, Monisha, if you would sort of identify yourself to this board and talk about your professional experiences.
I'm Monisha Badrinath, and I'm a project manager at Davenport. We're a civil engineering firm, and we do a lot of transportation projects, including traffic operations.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you speak a little louder, please?
Can you hear me better now?
So much better,
better.
thank you.
Thank you.
We do a lot of transportation projects, including traffic studies, roadway design, and signal design. I primarily work with the traffic operations team, and I've been with the firm for over a decade. I have done my undergrad in civil engineering in India, and I've done my master's at NC State in transportation systems engineering.
And you're licensed in North Carolina as an engineer.
Yes, I am.
All right. And you have prepared a written statement as well that includes a copy of your resume, is that right?
That is correct.
And what I've marked as Exhibit B, is that a copy of your written statement that includes your resume as well as some of your work product associated with this project?
That is correct.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to tender this witness as an expert in traffic engineering.
Seeing no questions and objections, so tendered. Thank you.
And I'll also like to submit Exhibit B as part of the record.
So accepted.
All right, Monisha, if you would, in terms of traffic-related issues relating to the project, if you would describe to the board what you did and what is some of the outcomes from the Department of Transportation.
Davenport developed this traffic impact analysis based on coordination with North Carolina Department of Transportation. Based on agreed upon scope, we collected the traffic counts and conducted the traffic impact analysis. We have, NCDOT has reviewed the traffic study, and we have an approval on the final TIA. We basically studied 4 existing intersections along New Leicester Highway at Newfound Road, Roberts Road, Mount Carmel Road, and Old Home County Road. And 2 site accesses, one located just east of Roberts Road, and 1 access south of New Leicester Highway. There are 2 additional site accesses which were not analyzed as part of the study, and as part of the improvements basically include signalizing the intersection of New Leicester Highway and Roberts Road, and also providing a northbound right turn lane along Roberts Road. And the other improvements would be at the site access located east of Roberts Road, which would be restricting the left turns out of the site access, basically exiting traffic. And there would be 3 movements allowed, which would be left turning into the site from New Leicester Highway, and a left in, a right in, and a right out, basically.
And so your report includes communications with the Department of Transportation where they approved the scope of the TIA, and ultimately they approved the final product of the TIA with the recommendations, right?
That is correct.
And from your analysis of the site, the recommendations that your firm put forth, these recommendations should be able to be fulfilled for this project, right?
That is correct.
All right. Associated with your affidavit, you touch on a couple of the standards in the Buncombe County ordinance that deal with traffic. They're included there where it's your opinion that this project meets those standards, correct?
Yes, they do.
Mr. Chairman, those are the questions I have for this witness.
Thanks so much. Board questions, thoughts? Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, I noticed that my dry cleaning tag is still on my jacket.
I've been there.
I got the
Yeah.
thing spruced up for y'all. Too excited to take it off. So for all those looking in on TV, yes, I still have it on. So our third witness was John Palmer. We all know John Palmer. It was he did a property impact analysis, which was also uploaded with his affidavit. I will say, and Amy maybe can attest to this, that because this is not a formal trial proceeding, it's more quasi, that you're allowed to accept information provided even if the person is not present, as long as there's no objection from an opposing party. So we have uploaded this already, his property impact analysis, which the conclusions are within his affidavit, so we would be including this as part of our record.
That's right, it's been submitted with applicant materials, so we're comfortable taking that under advisement, knowing that we can't, cross-examine here. So,
I'll just label it as Exhibit C, so just as clean for the record. So, Mr. Chairman, those are my witnesses. I would just point out, of course, this property was recently rezoned by the county commissioners for commercial, which is a good indication of the desire to have commercial on this piece of property. As the staff indicated, we're not asking for any variances of the county standards.
before we open up for witness testimony, let's ask the board if they have any more questions for the applicant at this time. Hearing none. By show of hands, anybody here to speak as a witness on this case? Any witnesses here to speak? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Thank you so much. We'll ask the applicant if they have any closing remarks, and then we'll close public hearing.
I will conclude with being the only one presenting information. We hope you will agree with it and grant the requested permit.
Thanks so much for that. This time we'll close the public hearing and open up for board discussion, thoughts, deliberation, and a motion.
I think it's a well-thought-out plan. I don't see anything wrong with it. And if anybody else has nothing else to add, then I would move to a motion.
Okay. Other thoughts?
I concur. I appreciate the fact that we're improving in terms of the stormwater issues out there on the property as it is today.
Very much so. Agreed.
Okay. Mr. Chair, based upon the evidence presented to this board, including the following exhibits, the petitioner's application, the submitted development plan, the GIS maps, the staff report, testimony presenting the hearing, and exhibits A through C and exhibit 1. No, I'm just teasing. I move that this board adopt the following findings of fact: that this matter was properly advertised, is within this board's jurisdiction, and is right for its consideration; that this application, together with the conditions proposed by staff and/or the board and agreed to by the applicant, if any, does meet the requirements for granting a special use permit contained in Buncombe County Code of Ordinances, Section 786213.
There's been a motion on findings of fact. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? That passes. Thank you.
Based upon the foregoing findings of facts and for reasons set forth therein, I move that the requested special use permit be approved and that the order approving the permit be adopted and executed as presented and as modified in this meeting.
There's been a motion to approve. Is there a second? Hearing a motion and a second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, that passes. Thank you very much. I'll ask if staff has a order for us to consider.
Dispensing with the caption. Can you guys hear me?
Not
A
very
little
well.
Yeah.
Okay. Short. And also dispensing with the findings of fact, which were actually just put on the record a few minutes ago, I will proceed to. Finding that the board finds as follows regarding the special use proposed in the application. 1, that the land within the PUD will be under single ownership or management by the applicant. Part 5A2. That the density is consistent with the intent of the district in which it is located. Computer does not want to cooperate today. That the land within the PUD will include only non-residential uses, that the proposed heights set forth in the application are less than the maximum allowed in the commercial service zoning district, that the structures will be at least 20 feet apart. That the proposed parking does comply with the spirit and intent of the PUD section, that pursuant to 78-677G of the Buncombe County zoning ordinance, satisfactory provision and arrangement have been made for the following as it relates to A, the proposed use will not adversely affect health or safety of persons residing or working within the neighborhood. B, that the proposed use will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to property or public improvements to the neighborhood. There we go. The proposed use will not cause or have adverse effects on surrounding properties due to noise, vibration, odor, or glare effects. Satisfactory ingress and egress for the proposed use of the property and proposed structures have been provided. Particular attention has been paid to automotive and pedestrian safety. Provision of off-street parking and loading areas where required, with particular attention to the items in 78-658 of the zoning ordinance have been arranged for. Provision of adequate and proper utilities with reference to location, availability, and compatibility have been arranged for. Provision of buffering, if necessary, with reference to type, location, and dimensions have been arranged for. Signs, if any, and proposed lighting with reference to glare, traffic safety, economic effect, and compatibility are in harmony with properties in the district. Playgrounds, open spaces, yards, landscaping, access ways, and pedestrian ways with reference to location, size, and suitability have been arranged for. Buildings and structures with reference to location, size, and use are acceptable. Hours of operation are acceptable. The following conditions are necessary to ensure that the proposed use will conform to the requirements and spirit of the zoning ordinance. The property must be subdivided prior to submission of the master site plan review. Floodplain development permit, no rise, and permission from NCDEQ for the stream rerouting. Is that correct? Okay. And culvert placement must be obtained and submitted as part of the site plan. Project must be constructed as depicted in the site plan. Prior to commencement of land disturbance and construction activity, the applicant shall submit a site plan development permit for the entire project indicating the following information: the exact location of all buildings and accessory structures, commercial lighting plan, buffering, landscaping, and parking lot landscaping, retaining walls, easements, and rights of way, approved 911 road names, any other conditions of site development approved by the Board of Adjustment. A copy of approved permits from the U.S. Army Corps and the NC Department of Transportation and the Department of Environmental Quality where applicable. The master site plan permit approval shall not replace the requirement of pulling an individual site plan permit for each building or structure within the development. The applicant must agree in writing to the conditions prior to the commencement of work. Based on the foregoing findings of fact, the board makes the following conclusions of law: that the applicant's request for a special use permit, together with the imposition of the conditions I just stated, which are incorporated herein as if fully set forth, meet each applicable requirement of the Buncombe County zoning. Based on the foregoing findings of fact, conclusions of law, the Buncombe County Board of Adjustment orders that the applicant is hereby granted a special use permit to establish a planned unit development on the property as requested, subject to the conditions I just described, which are incorporated herein as if fully set forth, dated this day.
We have an order. Board questions or motion regarding the order?
I make a motion to approve.
There's been a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? Thank you, that passes. Thank you. And according to board action earlier in this meeting, we're going to get our grocers out of the way at the first half of the meeting. So, ZPH 2025-00029, Ingles number 34, Swannanoa special use permit. Any one present to assert standing on this matter? Any standing applications? We'll have time for witnesses later on in the meeting if you're here for that. Otherwise, we'll have Jason Payne from staff to present.
Can everyone hear me? Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand and state your name.
Jason Payne?
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Give me one moment. I'm pulling up the site plan here. Okay. I certify that this public hearing was properly noticed and all applicable parties were notified of the meeting in accordance with general statutes and county code. I ask that all applicant and staff materials be accepted into this record as evidence.
Seeing no objection, so admitted.
This is the review of ZPH 2025-00029, Ingles number 34, Swannanoa special use permit. The applicant is Randy Jameson of Ingles Markets Incorporated, who the corporation owns the parcel. The project is located at 2317 US 70 Highway. They're at the corner of US 70 and Old Patton Cove Road. The lot size is 6.78 acres. The development will be serviced by public water and a sewer. The special use permit is for a planned unit development 2 for construction of a single building that is around 100,000 square feet. Housing an Ingles grocery store and a couple tenant spaces. The surrounding development is not subject to this permit and are uses by right and or other things. So I do kind of want to clarify a little bit more context with this. So this is across multiple properties here. This is an overall plan for these parcels that Ingles has proposed, but this special use permit is only for the parcel that has that Ingles there in the center. So there are some other developments that are in the works on surrounding parcels, but they are not subject to this special use permit and are not right for the consideration for this. And just this is for education for the board and for members of the public here. To the east, which is plan left here, there is a proposed truck wash there on that parcel that is not subject to this special use permit and is a use by right and would follow ordinance guidelines with the county. To the west, which is plan right here, is the old Ingles building, which they are currently proposing to redevelop into some tenant spaces there. That is not subject to this special use permit, including the gas station there to the south there on this. So I just want to be clear that it's only for this building and this parcel. So all the other development is not subject to this special use permit. If approved by the board, staff recommends the following conditions of approval, which I will summarize. DOT permit is required, and of course, the project must be constructed as depicted in the site plan. So with all that being said, does anyone have any questions? Okay,
Seeing none, thank you so much.
all right, thank you.
And we'll ask the applicant to approach.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Welcome again.
It's me again. All right, we have a couple of folks to speak relating to this application. So without further ado, I'll introduce Stacy. Come up.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Welcome.
All right, please raise your right hand and state your name.
My name is Stacy Connor.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, Stacy, if you would, after further introducing yourself to the board, if you'll talk about your professional experiences.
Yes, I am a professional engineer in South Carolina. I've been working for Land Planning Associates for about 11 years. Land Planning Associates has been the civil engineer for Ingles for 20-plus years. And I work under a principal engineer who has 9 PEs, including North Carolina and South Carolina. I also graduated from Clemson University in 2014 and received my license in 2018.
All right, and you have been involved personally in commercial developments, engineering?
Correct.
Roughly, how many have you been involved with?
Specifically, the last 11 years, probably at least 50.
All right. And you have prepared a written statement associated with your testimony that includes a copy of your resume as well as your analysis of this project in relation to Buncombe County standards. Is that right?
Correct.
And is what I've labeled as Exhibit A, is that a copy of your written statement?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to tender this witness as an expert in civil engineering,
Hearing no questions and objections, so tendered.
and also like to submit Exhibit A formally, even though it's been uploaded as an amendment to our application formally as part of the record.
And so admitted.
All right, Stacy, if you would describe the project to the board.
As discussed earlier, the existing parcel already has an existing Ingles on it. It's actually at 65,000 square feet. The proposed development would maintain that building and turn it into 3 tenants while developing a 95,000 square foot Ingles to the left of it, as well as 10,000 square feet of adjoining retail attached to that building itself. Additionally, the car wash and gas station that is there now will be demolished as well on that piece of parcel.
So for the property, as you heard, Jason indicated, only a portion of the overall development plan is part of the special use permit. Where the applicant is not asking for any variances or modifications from the Buncombe County standards, correct?
Correct.
And in terms of your written analysis goes over the availability of water and sewer. So why don't you touch on some of the highlights of your written analysis?
Correct. So water and sewer is already available on site. We've been in contact with MSD as well as City of Asheville regarding both utilities and are working with them to bring all of the standards, or all of the utilities up to their new standards as well. We have a clay sewer main running up Old Patton Avenue right now that we plan to replace and improve upon as well.
All right, why don't you touch on grading and stormwater?
Grading, we actually are planning to raise the portion that has the proposed Ingles by 4 feet, as that is about the level the existing Ace Hardware was flooded during Helene. So
we're kind of adding to our site to improve it and hopefully prevent further disaster on our property.
And to be clear, this property is not in the traditional floodplain. It just happened to be within Hurricane Helene's floodplain, right?
Correct.
So there's extra work being done to anticipate another 1,000-year storm event, right?
Yes, sir, correct.
Yeah. And in terms of the fire marshal has looked at these plans.
He has. He actually requested a 26-foot access easement all the way around the Ingles, which we have provided.
Okay. And of course, your written analysis indicates that the proposal meets all the setback requirements and other requirements of the county, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. And from the affidavit, you, on the first page of the affidavit, you address the special use permit standards, and based on your expertise and your experience with this project, you have concluded that this project does meet the Buncombe County special use permit standards. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. I do.
Mr. Chairman, those are my questions.
Thank you so much. Board questions? Seeing 4 out parcels in front and 2 on the side connected to the building as well. Are there plans currently for those in this development request, or are they remaining out parcels to be leased?
Their future development to be leased. They are accounted for in our stormwater development, though.
Perfect. Okay. No questions. Thank you so much.
Stacy.
Thank you.
I'd like to call Mark Teague.
Thank you.
All right. Please raise your right hand and state your name.
Mark Teague.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, Mark, if you would introduce yourself to the board and talk about your professional experiences.
Sure. My name's Mark Teague. I'm principal and owner of J.M. Teague Engineering and Planning in Waynesville. I've been doing this for 35 years. I used to work with NCDOT as a traffic engineer, including 10 years here in Asheville in Division 13. Started the firm about 15 years ago, and we do lots of traffic studies, analysis, anything like that.
And Mark, you have prepared a written statement, an affidavit that contains a copy of your resume as well as information related to communications with the Department of Transportation, as well as some of your analysis of this project's conformity with Buncombe County standards, right?
Yes, and you can see from that, got a license in 8 states, so.
So Exhibit B that I've provided to you, that's a copy of your written statement?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to tender this witness as an expert in traffic engineering.
Hearing no questions, no objections, so tendered.
And although it's already been uploaded to the portal as an amendment to our application, we'd also like to submit Exhibit B into the record.
So admitted.
All right, Mark, if you would describe, relating to traffic-related issues, if you would describe to the board what communications you had with the DOT and what improvements are anticipated relating to the project.
Sure. We're in the middle of preparing a traffic study for this project. We had to wait until school was in session after Labor Day in order to get really started on it, based on DOT's requirements. But we did meet early on with NCDOT. Part of this project is proposing 2 traffic signals, so we wanted to get that in front of DOT. They have verbally given us an okay on the scope for the traffic study. They have verbally said they don't see any problems with the traffic study. The main purpose of the traffic study will be to make sure that the traffic signals are what we call warranted. We did traffic counts in September 22nd and 23rd, and we've done some preliminary analysis on existing conditions, and granted, this is without any Ingles on the property. And it turns out to be in pretty good shape right now, level of service C. Now, if you don't know what level of service is, an A is like College Street at 3 a.m. out here. And an F is like College Street at 5 p.m. out here. So you don't want to be A, you don't want to be F, you want to be kind of in the middle. And right now, all the approaches at all the 11 intersections that we're studying were a level of service B or C. So there's plenty of room for additional traffic, which is why DOT does not anticipate any problems from this project.
And of course, with traffic counting in the Swannanoa area, that's been somewhat affected by Hurricane Helene, correct?
Yes, we've compared the existing traffic to pre-Helene traffic, and DOT has said they didn't anticipate an adjustment needed. They felt like traffic had come back to pre-Helene, and based on our preliminary calculations, I think they were right. We're within 5% of pre-Helene traffic on US 70, Patton Cove, and I-40.
And relating to your written statement, you have in here, you've indicated that based on your experience as a traffic engineer and your familiarity with this project, and of course you're familiar with the site, the location, you've been out there to look at it, you've looked at traffic conditions, correct?
Correct.
And so based on the experiences that you bring to the table as a traffic engineer, you have concluded that for the traffic-related standards that are in the Buncombe County Ordinance Special Use Permit, that this project would comply with those standards, correct?
Correct.
All right. Those are the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Board thoughts or questions? There is, I'm reading this, one of the maps here, and we've got an existing signal on Highway 70 between the Ingles and the right out parcels. Presumably that will stay where it is. And there's an additional one you're proposing pending DOT approval or weigh-in to the left towards the light. Yeah?
That's correct. And then one up on Patton Cove, directly across from the Harley-Davidson dealership. DOT is asking us to study the entire project, all the parcels, not just the Ingles portion.
And that would signalize the whole, those two would signalize the whole road at that point, not just the turning in and out.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
If it pleases the board, a few years ago, when we worked on the East Haven development, there was a sidewalk project that's done, and there's actually installed sidewalk from the existing Ingles store down to 70. You can actually walk across 70 now and access bus shelters. So that was done a few years ago. Just wanted you all to have that for context.
That's great.
And we are incorporating transit in the traffic study, but based on that. So.
I have a question. I saw in the report, or it was actually, I think it was an email communication, Mike Prendenville. It referenced, agreed with the assumption that there's a 1% growth rate for Swannanoa. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Is that 1% of population or 1% of traffic? It's 1% of what?
It's traffic. When we do a traffic study, we have a build-out year, and we want to grow natural traffic to that point. And it can vary from, I've seen 0% growth, I've even seen -% growth before, up to maybe 5 or 6%. And DOT has told us they wanted us to use a 1% growth rate for natural traffic in this area.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, we're all set.
Yeah, those are our expert witnesses. We do have a representative of Ingles present. Obviously, Hurricane Helene did a job on Swannanoa. This is trying to breathe a little bit of life back in that particular area. But like I said, Ingles representative is here. Obviously, they're very well invested in Swannanoa with their plan out there and this facility. So he's here to answer any questions you may have.
That's great. Let's ask if there are any members of the public here to speak on this application as a witness. Any witnesses here to speak? Going once, going twice. And we'll ask for any closing remarks, and if you'd like to address us, that'd be great, sir. Yeah.
I'd like to thank you for your time today and listening to us and everything. Ingles.
Well, you may get
Well,
sworn in
Briefly,
first.
briefly swear you in real quick. Yep.
Sorry.
Fine. formalities.
Please raise your right hand and state your name.
Preston Kendall.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And feel free to turn the mic up or hold the mic to you if you'd like to.
So my name's Preston Kendall. Can you hear? Yeah.
Yes.
I've been with Ingles as the construction project manager for 20 years. Ingles has been part of Buncombe County since 1963 when we opened our first store, and part of Swannanoa since 1975. When we bought our first store and our tenants there, that the building that we're hoping to demo and fill and put our new building on currently sits today. We built a new store there in 2000, which is the one that we're going to turn into the tenant spaces that we're hoping. We also built a gas station in 2001 and a car wash in 2006. We've done numerous remodels at that store. Over the years, Swannanoa is very important to our company, as is the community is very important to our company. Last 5 years have been pretty tough being in the grocery business. COVID was first, and that was a huge learning curve for everybody. And stepping up as an essential, as all grocery stores were, an essential business for everybody. So did a big learning curve there, trying to just keep everything going, and thought we were back on the right track. And then, of course, Helene hits, and it did a little extra to Swannanoa Valley, as everybody that had a TV or a radio saw, because they now know who Buncombe County and Swannanoa is everywhere. So we've never, since Helene, not wanted Ingles back in Swannanoa. We just had to make sure that we did everything correct and what was best for the community for years to come, and didn't want to have a knee-jerk reaction about it. You know, just at this store in Swannanoa, of course, we had 3 other stores affected that were closed as well. You know, we had 140 employees that worked at the Ingles store, and we gave the opportunity for all 140 to have a job somewhere in Buncombe County working for us, whether it's at our warehouse or at another store. And thank goodness most of those are still with us today. Like I said, as I said earlier, we were always wanting to go back to Swannanoa and be a part of the community, because we've always been there. We're hoping that the new store, we're going to be able to, with being bigger, offer more things. We're going to have between 200 and 220 employees at the store. And then with the gas that you saw, and our fueling station that you saw, the truck wash that you saw, we're hoping to have 50 to 60 employees just to run that side there too. So it's a big improvement for us, and it's hard to talk about, because I live in Candler, and I drive to Swannanoa 2 or 3 days a week, and it's still hard to drive and see the devastation that was there. I grew up there. I mean, I was born and raised in Swannanoa areas too. So anyway, we just want to be back, and if there's any questions y'all have, feel free to ask.
Thank you for those comments. Board thoughts, comments?
I think it's a well-thought-out plan, and I don't have any issues with it. And if people are ready, I'm happy to make a motion.
Okay, let's proceed then, and thank you very much for that. Any closing remarks? All set?
No, thank you.
Thank you. And we'll close the public hearing at this time. Open up for board discussion, deliberation, and motion.
I see no issues and support this.
Great application, very thorough, and of course, we need this, we need Ingles back in Swannanoa. Really do.
I think the slowing down and redesigning it was a good play. I think it'll benefit the community in a great way there.
Yeah, great solution here. Yeah.
Okay.
We're ready.
All right, Mr. Chair, based on the evidence presented to this board, including the following exhibits, the petitioner's application, the submitted development plan, the GIS maps, the staff report, testimony presented at the hearing, and the various exhibits. I move that this board adopt the following finding of fact: that the matter was properly advertised, is within the board's jurisdiction, and is ripe for consideration; that this application, together with the conditions proposed by staff and/or this board and agreed to by the applicant, if any, does meet the requirements for granting a special use permit contained in Buncombe County Code of Ordinances, Section 786213.
There has been a motion on findings of fact. Is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That passes. Thank you.
Based on the foregoing findings of fact and the reasons set forth therein, I move that the requested special use permit be approved and that the order approving the permit be adopted and executed as presented and modified in this meeting.
There's been a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? That passes. Thank you so much. And we'll have staff present an order on this one.
All right. Dispensing with the caption and the findings of fact which were just adopted by the board. Pursuant to the Buncombe County zoning ordinance, the board finds as follows regarding the special use permit, the special use proposed in the application. That the land within the PUD will be under single ownership or management by the applicant, that the density is consistent with the intent of the district, that the land within the PUD will include only non-residential uses, proposed heights are less than the maximum allowed, proposed structures will be at least 20 feet apart, proposed parking complies with the spirit and intent of the ordinance. Satisfactory provision and arrangements have been made for the following. The proposed use will not adversely affect health and safety of persons living and working in the neighborhood. The proposed use will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or public improvements. The proposed use will not cause or have adverse effect on surrounding properties. Satisfactory ingress and egress for the proposed use of the property has been provided. Provision of off-street parking and loading areas where required have been arranged for. Provision of adequate and proper utilities have been arranged for. Provision of buffering has been arranged for. Signs and exterior lighting are in harmony with properties in the district. Playgrounds, open spaces, yards, landscaping, and access ways have been arranged for. Buildings and structures with reference to location, size, and use are acceptable. Hours of operation are acceptable. The following conditions are necessary to ensure that the proposed use will conform to the requirements. An NCDOT permit is required. The project must be constructed as depicted in the site plan. Prior to commencement of land disturbance and construction activity, the applicant shall submit a site plan development permit for the entire project, indicating the exact location of all buildings, commercial lighting plan, buffering, landscaping, and parking, retaining walls, easements, and rights of way, approved 911 road names, and any other conditions of site development approved by this Board of Adjustment. Copy of approved permits from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Department of Transportation, as well as the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. The master site plan approval shall not replace the requirement of pulling an individual site plan permit for each building or structure. The applicant must agree in writing to those conditions. Based on the foregoing findings of fact, the board makes the following conclusions of law: that the applicant's request for a special use permit, together with the imposition of the conditions I just stated, do meet the each applicable requirement of the Buncombe County zoning ordinance. Based on the foregoing findings of fact, conclusions of law, this Board of Adjustment orders that the applicant is hereby granted a special use permit to establish a planned unit development on the property as requested, subject to the conditions I previously stated, which are incorporated herein as if fully set forth, this 8th day of October 2025.
There's been an order presented. Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion on the order?
I'm making a motion to approve the order.
There's been a motion. There's a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? Thank you. That passes. Thank you all very much. We're going to take a 10-minute recess and come back for our third case. And we will introduce case ZPH 2025-00032, the Villa Variance. And we'll ask if anyone is here to assert standing in this matter. He is, okay, great. We'll ask
I
if
believe that the counsel for the party asserting standing had to leave the room for a moment
that's
with
fine.
the board's counsel, so.
That's fine. We'll have, well, in the meantime, we'll have staff present on this one. And Mr. Jason Payne is here with us.
I'm sorry, I'm one of the lawyer for someone trying to obtain standing. I was just over there, I don't know if I missed something.
Oh, sure, no, that's fine. We'll just call to see if you were here, if you were here. Yeah, we'll have you up after this. Yeah.
All right. There we go. I certify that this public hearing was properly noticed and all applicable parties were notified of the meeting in accordance with general statutes and county code. I ask that all applicant and staff materials be accepted into the record as evidence.
Hearing no questions or objections, so admitted.
Thank you. This is a review of ZPH 2025-00032, the VIA variance. The applicant is Walter Lucas of Titan Factory Direct. The property owner is Pilar Villa Chacon. The property is located at 90 Hazelwood Road, and the total acreage of the property is 0.28 acres. The property is serviced by MSD Sewer and COA Water. I apologize, the staff analysis document indicated this property is serviced by septic. That is incorrect. It is serviced by sewer. The property is zoned R3, and the applicant has applied for a variance to the zoning ordinance of Buncombe County, section 78-642, in the dimensional requirements table, to allow a front/right-of-way setback of a dwelling unit to be decreased from the required 10 feet to 4 feet, a difference of 6 feet. The request is being made to allow placement of a home on the property. Let's see here. So here is the site plan, the plat submitted over here. And you can see the right-of-way here along the frontage, and then this 10-foot setback line right here. Also of note is a very large right-of-way there for utilities that takes up about half of the lot there in the rear. Does anyone have any questions for me at this time?
Board questions for staff on this application? No, not for staff. Thank you,
All right.
Jason.
Thank you very much.
And yes, sir, if you'll approach, yeah. Mhm.
My name is Kenny Hunt, lawyer at Roberts and Stevens. This
Okay.
is not my typical lane of travel, but I'm here today.
Sure, absolutely.
Happy to be here.
If the applicant can approach as well, do you want to have the applicants, does it matter where on seating? I don't think it does. Yeah. Hey, how are you? Oh, you're the applicant. I'm sorry, yeah. You're standing though? Okay. Let's start with standing, but the applicant needs to be able to cross, so.
Right.
Yeah, okay. We'll start with standing. Yeah. You can feel free, yeah. Yeah, there's good. If you can, yeah, share the microphone.
Okay. Is the applicant here?
Yes, right here in the flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the applicant, if the applicant, please come forward as well. Okay. Okay, and is the owner of the property here?
Wonderful.
The daughter.
Thank you. Sir, are you an attorney?
I'm sorry,
Are you an attorney representing the owner?
am I representing the owner?
Are you an attorney?
No,
Okay. But are you a partial owner of the property as well?
I am not.
Okay. So the owner's gotta be up front to testify and everything as well? And we can also swear you in also, but the applicant, you can't present on her behalf, of course. Yeah. I don't think so.
The applicant is not present. I understand that there is a language barrier, and so she was having her daughter and this gentleman speak on her behalf, but I believe that she still needs to be here in
Yeah.
order to be able to, and
Sure.
I don't believe that these persons can represent her in this capacity if she's not present. They can act as interpreters, but
Right.
cannot make argument on her behalf.
That's right, yeah. So she can have an attorney or an interpreter, either one, as two lanes, but, and be here herself, of course. Those are the two options, yeah, yeah. So is she available today? Is she close by? If you'll come up, sir, we can't quite hear you. To the microphone here on the dais here.
When we submitted the application, I believe Griffin told us that all we needed here was a representative, that she didn't have to be here. So that's
Yeah,
why,
an
that's why
attorney.
she's not here.
Representative is an attorney, yeah.
For the record, I did not state that.
Yeah,
But
okay.
we said that, because of work, she goes into work around this time.
Sure.
And we mentioned that, and that's why she's not here.
So that I don't miss any steps here. Has she hired an attorney?
We do have an attorney, but it's for a different matter, not for this variance.
Not for this variance, okay. So she intends to represent herself in the application before the board?
I mean, we didn't know that we have to have an attorney.
You don't have to, no. It can be her
Yes.
her alone, with an interpreter if that's needed.
So Walter that is here, he's the agent at Titan Homes dealership, the mobile home where we purchased the mobile home, so he's representing.
Right, that's right. In the bill, but he's not the applicant's representative, of course. So we can't proceed in that direction.
Indy, I don't think it's ripe for consideration. She's not here.
It's not ready for the board in the circumstances, of course, but let's clarify to make sure we know what's required for this to go through and proceed at the next appearance here.
So Mr. Lucas is the applicant, but he's not the owner of the property.
Yeah.
But it's my belief that quite frankly, the owner needs to be here and does need to be the applicant. So an amendment to the application would need to be made. I also understand that Mr. Hunt intended to object on these grounds, so it's actually good that we're getting it out of the way now.
Sure, yeah. We can't, it's not appropriate for that application to be amended right now.
Of
is it?
course. No.
Right, so no. So the options are, at the next meeting, to modify that application to have either a hired attorney on this matter appear before the board on their behalf, or for the owner of the property to be here to agree to what's being discussed and to present.
Yes, both of those options are available.
Okay.
And I think the amendment could be made to the application before the next meeting.
Oh, sure,
So that everybody's
absolutely.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and she can also call witnesses, and all of you who are here to support the application and talk about different aspects can, of course, have an opportunity, but under that circumstance, but she needs to be here to agree. And so, and if interpreter is necessary, we can, of course, help arrange that.
So would you provide an interpreter, or could we support with that, or you
Let's
would-
clarify that with staff, yeah.
So she,
We would have to look, we've had interpretation services available at these meetings before.
We have had them available. Generally for the public to, yeah, for those here as witnesses, for instance. But for an applicant, I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about it either. We would have to look further.
We'll work with you, though, to identify what's appropriate, yeah. Okay, sounds good. Well, sadly, I don't think we're ready to hear the case if the owner is not present today. And so we will have the board, we'll hear a motion to, of course, push it to next month. Are the parties here available next month? And that, staff, what's the date on the next meeting for November?
November 12th.
November 12th, that is a Wednesday at noon. And we can't speak yet to the time of day, but we have a noon to 4 p.m. window for the whole board meeting, so we don't know yet what time it'll be, but considering you've already been on the agenda, that'll be weighted against the other cases present, to figure out when you're gonna be able to present, whether it's first or last, or, might be 3 o'clock, could be 12 o'clock. So both those options you understand both those options? Okay, all right. Thank you all very much, and we'll ask the board to take action on this for
Make
next
a
month.
motion to continue this to next month.
Okay, there is a motion. Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Thank you so much. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you. Are there any other matters before the board, staff? Any other items for us? Griffin, any other items for us today? Okay, thank you so much. Motion to adjourn, is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay?